Hey folks, Craig Danger, vinyl record player. Ho! You know what? 1974 was a good year. I've discovered this looking through the picks. I wanted to do another sleeper picks video. Turned out I'm about to split this dog in two. We got part one and it's coming up next, and I'm just going to go ahead and say, buckle up. And we're back. Yeah. You know what? Not at all. These are super sleepers. I'm just looking at the pile now. I'm realizing, you know what? A couple of these dogs up front, you'll be like, okay, I don't know how sleepery this is, but I thought they were worth mentioning. Plus, I got them in my collection. What am I supposed to do? I'm Craig Danger, vinyl record player. So you know what? Let's just go ahead and talk about 18 sleeper picks from 1974. Those are 50-year-old records, friends. 50-year-old records. I'm going to start part one with 9. Yeah, I know this ain't no sleeper. But I felt there was a need here. We're talking about Bad Company. We're talking about Mick Ralphs. We're talking about, of course, Paul Rodgers. Paul Rodgers, really, I think probably one of the best white soul singers ever, really. Just happened to always front pretty heavy rock bands. Before this, obviously, he was the frontman for Free, which, wow, if you don't have any Free records, probably your best bet is to start out with Fire and Water from 1969. Or no, I think it's from 70, because I would have been in my 69 picks. It's from 70, but you know what? Bad Company, the self-titled debut, I mean, can't get enough. I mean, some of us might say we could get enough of Can't Get Enough, it having been played on the radio 80 trillion times. But you know what? This is basically their best album. Any Bad Company fans in the place, tell me in the comments. What's better than Bad Company, Bad Co? Right? I don't know. Of course, you've got Ready for Love, Don't Let Me Down, Moving On. How about Bad Company? The Bad Company theme. Let me also note, how audacious do you have to be a band and write your own theme and then, just put it on your debut record? So be like, you know what? We'll do our own theme too. We'll call it Bad Company. We'll call our band Bad Company. Anyway, Bad Company. This one, it's not hard to get. And you know what? It's good. If you're not already sick of hearing them on the radio 80 trillion times, it's a really good album. Maybe not as good as some of those early Free albums featuring Paul Kossoff. Oh, so good. But a very good album. My first kind of sleeper pick, 1974. It's a 50-year-old record, friends. Number 2. Oh, I know many of you don't know what the heck this is. What the heck? What is this? Yeah, I know. This is not a pick because of the high quality illustration. I'm not 100% sure what to say about this. Even when you take the plastic off, you're still like, okay, we got his head here, and then Mark of the Beast, Willie Hutch, 1974. This record is a sleeper record. I had this record, listened to it a few times, was like, I'm not sure I like it. Obviously, I'm a big, if you watch the Danger Channel, you know that I'm a big Willie Hutch fan. But you know, this one came back at me via the key track here, which is, of course, Try It, You'll Like It. Title track on this is really good. I'm Gonna Stay is also another classic, but then also Get Ready for the Get Down. Woo! Another key track. But again, Try It, You'll Like It. I always go on about Willie Hutch, probably the most underrated soul star of the 1970s. But in 74, he came out with this, and also, by the way, the Foxy Brown original soundtrack, which is also a banger. Wow, what a great soundtrack. But yeah, I gotta go with the Mark of the Beast. Willie Hutch, 1974. I know you don't have this in your collection. You should. What's up next? Oh, I know, this is also not a sleeper. You're gonna have to deal. I'm talking about Jim Croce. This is not even a regular album. This is the greatest hits. This is Photographs and Memories. But you know what? The Croce, or Jim Croce, as my mother always noted. Wow, really a legendary singer. This has got all the hits on it. This is, of course, on the Life Song label. This may actually even be a Canadian press. I gotta be real. But, you know, Big Bad Leroy Brown. I mean, Hello Operator. I'm not 100% sure that you have to get all of Jim Croce's albums, all of his individual LPs, although you know what, it's not hard. We're talking about 2 or 3, but you got to at least have this. It's just too good. Jim Croce, his greatest hits from 74. Obviously, he passed, I believe, either in 74 or 73. Plane crash. If you're a rock star, don't get into a small plane. That lesson seemed to have been learned again and again. But Jim Croce really just getting started. He had about 2 or 3 LPs without his wife, and then boom, dies. But yeah, from 74 also, Photographs and Memories, his greatest hits. You should get this. And of course, talking more of my book. How about Ann Peebles, I Can't Stand the Rain? Featuring not only, of course, the title track, which is legendary, but you know what? Pretty much everything on this album, cover to cover, is great. Do I Need You, Until You Came Into My Life, If We Can't Trust Each Other. I mean, Ann knows the cheating song. And frankly, it's a lot of cheating songs on this one. But you know what? This is, I would say, either her best or her second best album. Obviously, I Can't Stand the Rain. I think it charted at like 39 pop, which really gives you an idea of the power of High Records promotion department if your name was not Al Green, which there's no power. It was out of juice. There was no juice for Ann Peebles. But anything Ann Peebles, honestly, up until probably 80, maybe even beyond, you can pick up without a care. But I Can't Stand the Rain, yeah, you're not going to get an original copy. This is probably from like, I think this is a repress in about 06, 07. But I Can't Stand the Rain, Ann Peebles, ooh. Any Ann Peebles you should get, but from 74, this is, I guess, as much of a breakthrough as she really had. But Ann Peebles, I Can't Stand the Rain. Oh, pick this double LP, Van Morrison, from recorded where? Recorded in concert 2 nights in London, summer of 1973. This, of course, is I Can't Stop Now. If you like any of the early 70s Van Morrison stuff, then of course you're going to love this. This is him kind of going through some of those earlier tracks. Listen to The Lion is a particularly outstanding version. But I mean, you've got St. Dominic's Preview, you've got Domino. I mean, basically this is Van live, and back then Van had an incredible band. To be fair, I think Van has always very much stressed his live performances. And of course, he had an incredible band right back then. And yeah, it's a double LP. Picked this one up in Las Vegas, as a matter of fact. At a record store, I was like, oh, this record store is garbage. What? Found this for 15. If you can pick this one up, really good album. And again, the live albums. Do not walk from the live albums. There are some really excellent live albums, particularly in the late 60s, early 70s period, that frankly, you're missing out. The versions are different enough. You can feel the energy of the crowd. This is absolutely one of those albums from 1974. 50 years old. It's too late to stop now. Van Morrison. Pick it up. This one is a real, okay, you want to talk sleeper. This one is as sleeper as it gets. How about J.R. Bailey? Just Me and You. Now, I know not a lot about this record, but if you like Marvin Gaye, if you like Stevie Wonder, imagine those two kind of wrapped up and as one. That's J.R. Bailey right there. Little Curtis Mayfield too. Ooh, this album is epic. Just Me and You. I mean, yes, the cover is not going to win any. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not. A little bit of a self-portrait. We got some other stuff. What's happening on the back? Looks like we got some clouds. Yeah. Okay. This is not a cover art show, friends. This is about the music and Just Me and You by J.R. Bailey. Woo! Really, really good album. Basically sold 0 copies. But this is one of those albums that if you do see it, you can pick it up. I'm not sure if it's available in the streaming, but please. Just Me and You, J.R. Bailey. Ooh, bit of a soul classic from 1974. And a 50-year-old LP. And then, of course, what do you got? Oh, we've got Dreamer, Bobby Bland from 1974. Another 50-year-old record. Okay, the red suit. I mean, right? All about the red suit. The smoking, hey, not in real life, but on a cover? Sure. Hey, it's 1974. You want to smoke cigarettes? You do that as much as you want, Bobby Bland. And you know what? You know what Bobby Bland should also do? He should hang out with some babes on his boat. And that's what he's doing. He's just hanging, just being him. He's got his hat on. Here he's rocking what people in the business like to call a Canadian tuxedo. Love it, Bobby. Ooh, yes, and I love your man has a bit of an eye for the ladies and for yachts, apparently, because you know why? Bobby Bland is a dreamer. But you know what? I just gave this a listen today. This is a really good album, really kind of low-key blues album. If you're a fan of like B.B. King or Little Milton or even Albert King, I would say probably it's way toned down Albert King, but it's a really fun album. Mildly funky. I'm not going to say it's crazy funky, but Bobby Bland, Dreamer, definitely worth a pickup. And again, this is not an expensive record. I mean, this is kind of tattered, but or tattered ass, as many might say. But you know what? The thing is that on the ABC Dunhill label, you can get this for under 10, and it is actually a really good record. And as a matter of fact, you can also stream it. Yeah, and we only got two more, and then we're going on to part 2 next week. So yeah, let's talk about G.C. Cameron's Love Songs and Other Tragedies. Oh, I liked it so much, I made the shirt, people. Well, you know what? G.C. Cameron's Love Song and Other Tragedies, fantastic album, cover to cover. A couple of songs produced by Willie Hutch, as a matter of fact. Basically what happens with GC is, and first of all, look at this immaculate white suit. As we all know, white suits are, of course, the new black tuxedo. But again, looking good. And by the way, take a look at a little bit of look in there and ask yourself, does this man not look a little bit like Andre 3000? Just a little bit. I think he does. I think maybe Andre 3000 may have seen a GC record and been like, that's a good hairstyle. I like that. Maybe I can do that. Anyway, what happens with this is GC Cameron basically was in the Spinners for a good period of time, and during sort of their early hits like I'll Be Around on Motown, basically I think he was there for their first album. Then he quits. He's like, oh, I'm going to go solo. He proceeds to, basically the Spinners moved to Atlantic. He proceeds to record his next album on Motown. They bring out, a bunch of good producers. I think Frank Wilson also produces on this one. And you know what? It does nothing. I think even Stevie Wonder either wrote or produced one or two of the songs on this one. And you know what? Nothing. Didn't sell a lick, friends. But wow, is it good? And obviously, with the white suit, you can't lose. Oh, there's the gentleman on the back. Looking good. But you know what? Sounding good too. This record, not easy to find because, again, sold absolutely nothing. But you know what? It is a legendary classic and definite sleeper. So please, don't forget to not sleep on Love Songs and Other Tragedies. A 50-year-old record from 1974. Okay, and then, of course, you know what? I'm gonna finish this one off with an album that I don't actually have a physical copy of. I gave this one away as a VCLT to a fine vinyl community member named Tavis. The album I'm talking about, of course, is Frankie Miller, High Life. Really, I think one of the best blue-eyed soul singers ever. Also a songwriter. As a matter of fact, he did write the song Ain't Got No Money. Later on covered by one Bob Seger. So if you are a Bob Seger fan, I feel like Frankie Miller and him, wow, very similar sounds. Very similar sort of singing vibe, very soulful. But again, Frankie Miller, The High Life, this LP is definitely, in my opinion, his best. From 74, produced by legend Alan Toussaint. You got Brickyard Blues. You have the title track, High Life, which again, may be the best under 1 minute song ever created. That's right, I just went audacious and said, tell me in the comments, is there another better 1 minute song than High Life by Frankie Miller? I don't think so, friends. I don't think so. But again, this album is not going to be easy to find. This was on the Chrysalis label, sold very little in America, and frankly, didn't really sell a lot in Britain either. He was kind of always looking for a break until I think it was about 79, he finally charted in the UK, up really, really high. And you know what? It turned out it wasn't even his song. It was somebody else's song. So, terrible story, kind of longer term, but you should look him up. Frankie Miller's High Life from 1974, produced by Alan Toussaint. Ooh, Little Angels, another classic. This is a back-to-back, I would say his best and most consistent album of really, I think, a British blue-eyed soul legend that basically nobody talks about because he kind of didn't sell any records. So, at any rate, thank you for tuning in. Of course, we know that subscribers eat for free at all the best restaurants in town, and basically everybody loves them. That's what happens to subscribers, the Danger Channel. So again, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in next week for part 2 of Sleeper Classics. 50-year-old record from when? From 1974. I've been Craig Danger. I will see you on the next one.